You know what? Math can be great, but it is even more wonderful when you get to see math in your everyday life. Just the other day, Miss Freeman went shopping at No Frills, and I had a few questions. So I made a word problem out of it. Here we go. Miss Freeman went to the store and bought 15 toilet paper rolls. I hope she shared. I hope you are all sharing your toilet paper. Each roll was $2.50. How much did Miss Freeman spend? There we go, a nice classic word problem. If you have some extra time, why don't you try solving that and see how much Miss Freeman spent on toilet paper? Wouldn't that be interesting? But for right now, let's talk about the actual problem. You see, word problems usually have 3 different parts to them. They have a measurement, they have another measurement, and then they end the word problem with a question. In order to have a full word problem, you need all 3 points. So you need at least 2 different things, 2 different pieces of information. Measurements, numbers, money, those sort of things. And then you need to have a question so that you know what you're looking for. So if you look in this statement for a minute, let's see if we can find those things. So Miss Freeman went to the store and bought 15 toilet paper rolls. There's our first measurement, there's our first number we're gonna work with. Each roll was $2.50. Ah, there's another one. There's another measurement. And finally, how much did Miss Freeman spend? That's the question. That's what I have to find. It's really important, grade 4s, that you get really used to finding these 3 different parts within a word problem because they are all super, super important. And if you do not have those 3 parts, you can't actually do the word problem. So for example, look at this problem over here. Here's another one. This one isn't Miss Freeman. This is just an interesting problem. Bertha has 17 carrots. How many more carrots does Bertha have than Betty? So if you look in this question, we have 1 measurement. We have, What's the problem, grade 4s? We don't have another measurement. We have the question, how many more carrots does Bertha have than Betty? But we don't actually have a measurement in here. Can we solve this word problem? Well, no, we can't. We need to know something else. What do we need to know? Well, let's look at the question. How many more carrots does Bertha have than Betty? We don't know how many carrots Betty has. So what we're missing is this information. How many carrots does Betty have? We cannot do that word question unless we have that information. We need 2 pieces of information, 2 measurements, and a question. Let's look at a few more now, grade 4s, with that in mind. So I'm gonna open up my page. Let's do these 2 over here first. Billy Bob is 22 years old. His sister is 10 years older. So 22 years old, that's a measurement. 10 years older, there's another measurement. So this time we have both of our measurements, but we're missing the question. What would we want to find in this question? Pause the video, see if you can figure it out for a minute. But I know the answer. We need to know how old his sister is. How old is Billy's sister? That is what we are trying to find out. Now, when we look at this question, Doug wants to make brownies with his mother. He decides to double the recipe. How much cocoa does he need? Tricky part about this one is it doesn't actually have a number written down. We sort of have to figure out that, double, that's actually a measurement. So we have 1 measurement there. We also have a question. How much cocoa does he need? What are we missing? Pause it, see if you can figure it out. What we're missing is cocoa. It talks about cocoa here, but we see nothing about cocoa. So we need to know how much cocoa is in the first recipe before we can double it. So that's a measurement. How much cocoa in the recipe? That's what we need to know in order to solve that. Let's look at two more together. Okay, so now over here, Emma gave $12 to her sister as a gift. How much did her sister have now? Okay, so there we go. We have a measurement now. $12. We have a question. How much did her sister have now? That makes me think that she must have had some money before she got the money from her sister. So what do we need to know? Pause the video if you can figure it out. And if not, here we go. We need to know how much the sister had before she was given the present. So we're going to write down how much did the sister already have? That is important. Last one, let's give it a try. Hilda went to visit her cousin. She traveled 50 miles per hour for 6 hours. Oop, I see some measurements. 50 miles per hour for 6 hours. What are we missing? Pause, see if you can figure it out. We're missing a question. That's what we're missing. We want to know how many miles she traveled. How many miles did Hilda travel? That is what we would need to figure out. So there we go, grade 4s. Please take note when you have a word problem. You need 3 things. You need the measurements. You need the question. When you are looking for something missing, look at the question and see what you don't have yet. Or if you don't have a question, there's your answer. That's what you need to figure out. Good luck. I wish you the best and have a lovely day.